Hey guys, cooking, cutting up, keeping it real. Welcome to my kitchen. Today I have poured myself a cup of ambition and I'm meal prepping for the week. I wanted to share that with you. I'm gonna do spaghetti sauce, meatloaf, and I'm gonna do a pot of pinto beans. I like to do mine ahead of time for busy days when you're working and you don't have time to come home and think about all that for whatever reason. So here's how I'm gonna put together a meatloaf. I had 4 pounds of ground beef that I bought from the grocery store. Looks like this. I took about 1.5 pounds of that. I browned it on the stove. It's in the crock pot with some spaghetti sauce over it. So that's gonna be one meal for this week. And I'll have some leftovers to play with to maybe just put it over noodles a second night, or maybe even serve it like over chicken. Yes, chicken. It'll be fine if it has a little bit of hamburger meat in it as well. But I browned my hamburger and then I drained all the fat off that I could, and then I put that together in the crock pot, and it is over there on low, and I'm gonna cook that low and slow all day. Secondly, for meal prepping for my week, I went ahead and bought a big bag of pinto beans. We love pinto beans here, and they're a great source of protein, but any dried bean will do wherever you are, and whatever dried bean you like. I have put them under water and I'm rehydrating them for about 2 hours. Then I'll pour that off. I'll put more water on top of them and cover them real good with water. And then I'll put some seasoning in it, whether it be a beef bouillon cube, chicken bouillon, vegetable bouillon, some onion, salt, pepper. There's so many ways to season beans. I'll probably put a little bit of bacon in mine. Anyway, so that's gonna be a protein for this week at my house that we will eat off of for a couple of meals. Okay, here's what I want to show you. You gotta have some breadcrumbs if you're gonna make meatloaf. Okay, how many times do you go to your pantry, your drawer, wherever it is, just drop that on the floor, and you think to yourself, I have these little bitty bits of potato chips that haven't gone bad yet. Don't throw them away. Make you a meatloaf. So I'm gonna take, hang on, so I don't make a big mess. I'm gonna take the leftovers of these Lay's potato chips. I'm gonna put them in my food processor. If you don't have a food processor, you can simply put them in a bag and get you a rolling pin and get your frustrations out. Just beat it till they get crumbled up to your desired consistency. Oh wait. Then I had a little bitty bit of whole grain or multi-grain scoops. I'm gonna put those in there and use those as my breadcrumbs for my meatloaf. I also have a half a sleeve of saltine crackers that I'm just gonna mush up. Meatloaf's one of those things that if you love it or your family loves it, you can make it ahead of time, go ahead and cook it, put it back in your freezer, and pull it out another day. Or you can eat it that day, which is, I don't know what we'll eat which day, not yet this week. But anyway, let me get these breadcrumbs crumbed. Might help if I plug it in. Yep. Let's see here. I watch a lot of social media myself, different people, especially cooks that I enjoy. And you know, meal prepping is a big thing now. Even college kids are doing it, and it's, you know, it's a great way to have something good to eat at night for you, your family, without going to a lot of trouble at the end of your day. I'm gonna pour those breadcrumbs into my bowl. And then I'm gonna crack 2 eggs. So I'm gonna make kind of a big meatloaf, and it might make 2 little meatloafs. The other thing I love about meatloaf is you can make meatballs, cook them, put them back in your freezer, pull them out, put you some spaghetti sauce on there, and you got a meal. There's a lot of uses when you got 4 pounds of ground beef. Okay, to this, I'm gonna add my 1.5 pounds of ground beef. Then I'm gonna get my hands in it. I wanna get everything in there first so that I can get my hands in there and get it mixed up good. That's about a pound. I'm gonna go 1.5 pounds, and then I may freeze a little bit of this hamburger for another meal prep. Okay, now to this, my guys don't like chunky onions or chunky vegetables in anything, so I try to disguise mine by using this food processor. So waste not, want not, I also had 1/2 of a large purple onion. Now this is gonna cook in my oven for over an hour, so you know, if I make it small enough where they can't see it, I still get the flavor. Let me cut the end of this off. And I'm just gonna, without cutting my cabinet, just rough chop that. I'm gonna put that in my food processor as well. I also have one zucchini. They'll never know it's in there. I'm gonna put that in there. And once it cooks, even my guys are not gonna be like, what is this? Okay, I need just a little bit of liquid to this. So I'm gonna go ahead and add, I'm gonna use barbecue sauce this week in my meatloaf. So I have Sweet Baby Ray's, but you can use whatever you want. So I'm just gonna put a squirt in there just so it mixes a little better with those veggies. And I'm gonna reserve it for this mixture. All right, let me grab my lid. What did I do with it? I gotta have the lid. Hang on. Okay, seriously, I hit the lid for myself, really? Oh, here it is. Lord have mercy. Here we go. Ain't so much cabinet room in here, okay? Counter space. Okay. And so that my zucchini will get chopped up good, I'm gonna add about a tablespoon of water to this. Just a tablespoon. Yep, that's what I wanted. Okay, I'm gonna put some salt and pepper into my meatloaf, about a teaspoon of each. Do that to your liking. You know, you can always add salt and pepper later, even after it cooks. If you're somebody that loves salt and pepper, you can add that later. I'm gonna grab a clean spoon. And I'm gonna add some everyday all-purpose seasoning. It has garlic powder, it has onion powder, salt, pepper, and a little bit of parsley. So I'm just gonna do about 2 tablespoons of that into my meatloaf. And it gets a little dry when you put it in these natural wood. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean that out. Okay, now I'm gonna get my hands in here. Can't wait to get my hands in something like this. Okay, let's pour this in. And then we'll have all of our ingredients together for our meatloaf. Let me grab a spatula. This wooden one will do just fine. I'm gonna scrape the rest of that out. That was the onion, the zucchini. So you can sneak in some veggies, is what I'm trying to tell you. And I put a little bit of barbecue sauce with it and just a tablespoon of water to get it mixed up good. And I wanted my zucchini and my onion to be as small as possible so that when my guys eat it, they won't be like, there's chunky stuff in here. You know what? You have to do what your family likes to a degree so that they'll eat it and love it. Then you just don't tell them that you added a little something in it extra. Because I really love the flavor of onion in a lot of my dishes. If they're not big onion guys, I have to sneak it in. You can also use onion powder. Okay, now that I'm seeing this, I am going to go ahead and spray my pan. And I'm gonna bake mine on 375 for about 45 minutes. And then I'll check it. Make sure it's brown all the way through. And I'm gonna add a little bit of ketchup. finish the ketchup bottle out so I don't waste nothing. And then I'm gonna add a little bit more barbecue sauce. And I'm gonna eyeball that. And then I'm gonna get my hands in here. Get it all mixed up. I want those spices to be dispersed evenly. And then I'm gonna take this meatloaf, about half of my mixture here. And I'm gonna put it a little over 3/4 full. A little bit more. And I'm gonna put that in a 375 oven and bake that for about 45 minutes to an hour. Totally depends on your oven temp, how that cooks up. You want it to be really brown on top and maybe cut in the middle and make sure it's done in the middle. And then you can put a sauce over it or whatever your family likes. But that's how I'm doing my meal prep this week. Pintos for protein, meatloaf for my entree, spaghetti sauce, and then I'll put some veggies with it when I'm tired at the end of the day. I hope that's something that helps you. Meal prepping. We'll see y'all. Thanks for tuning in to Cooking, Cutting Up, Keeping It Real. Bye.